Practice makes perfect. It is so factually true. If achieving mastery is simple as all that, what comes in the way? Why is it that people do not practice? When Arjuna asked Sri Krishna, Chanchalam mi manah Krishna pramathi balavad dridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. He says, Oh Sri Krishna, my mind is so chanchal, so fickle. Ksanamayati patalam kshanam yati navasthalam. One moment here, one moment there. To me it seems that this mind is more difficult to control than the wind. Shri Krishna did not say, Arjun, tu kya bak bak karta hai? Shri Krishna said, Asanshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Arjun, what you are saying is undoubtedly correct. The mind is difficult to control. Difficult, but not impossible. Shri Krishna did not say anigraha. If he had said anigraha, there would be no use having this transformation program. We may as well all have admitted defeat. But he said durnigraha, difficult. So, Shri Krishna says, Arjun, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. You will control the mind through repeated practice. There is no alternative to practice. That means every time the mind goes away, you bring it back. Every time it goes away, you bring it back. A social scientist called K. Anders Ericsson, he wanted to see how do people become world class. Are they born with such talent, or does it develop with practice? In any field, those who are world-class violinists, dancers, writers, or speakers, or sports people, how did they reach that level of proficiency? And he discovered this 10,000-hour rule. Invariably, these world-class performers had put in 10,000 hours of practice by the time they reached the age of 20 years. That repeated practice distinguished them from everybody else. First, something was so difficult to do, so you were consciously incompetent at it. But then you kept practicing and you became consciously competent. And as the practice increased, you became unconsciously competent. That was the mastery. Now everybody says that Michael Phelps is the most awarded medalist in the history of modern Olympics. So was he just born so talented? They forget that he was practicing 6 hours a day, 365 days a year for a 6-year period. So he probably completed his 10,000 hours of practice in 6 years itself. That is why he reached such world-class proficiency. So whatever be the field, if you wish to manage your mind and your attitudes, again the same principle. You have to practice and practice and practice. That's the way it is done. Now, if that is the case, then why is it that people do not practice? If achieving mastery is simple as all that, what comes in the way? What impedes is practice requires sacrifice. It is inconvenient. Are you willing to pay the price? A couple of years ago, when Virat Kohli was scoring all his centuries in the IPL, I just read, what does he say about his practice? He says, like a yogi, When I go to the nets to practice for 3 hours, the mind gets bored, it complains, and the body says, no, I tolerate all the boredom and all the pain and do what is necessary. So much of mind control. So practice means you have to tolerate the pain and the inconvenience. There was one significant athlete, a black American called Edwin Moses. He held the record for the maximum number of races won. He won 122 races over a long stretch of many years without any defeat in between in the 400 meters hurdles. So he was asked, what is the secret of your success? He answers, I have greater ability to tolerate pain than the others do. Such a brilliant answer. Whenever you wish to control, there is pain. The mind, the senses will complain. Are you willing to tolerate that pain and achieve mastery or not? That is why the poet said, the lives of great men were not made by sudden flight, but while their friends slept, they were toiling upwards in the night. In this world, nothing is going to come free. You have to pay the price for it. If you want success, pay the price through repeated austerity, discipline, practice and self-control. Are you willing to pay the price? No, Swamiji. Okay. No, I want success, but I don't want to pay the price. That will never work. There was once a king. He wanted to leave a message of wisdom to enlighten the future generations with the wisdom of his age. So he gathered all the ministers and the wise people and said, come up with some extract that I can leave behind as a heritage through which future generations will gain wisdom. All these saints, wise people, scholars, they wrote a 4-page extract and brought it to the king. The king said, it's too long. In today's age of WhatsApp, who reads 4 pages? People keep forwarding messages, but who reads it? You know, I have heard a joke which also came through WhatsApp. That Brahmaji said to Yamaraj, you know, nowadays the Indians are sharing so much of wisdom on WhatsApp. Nobody will be coming to your door at all, to Narak. Everybody has become wise and intelligent. Yamaraj ji said, Brahma ji, they are receiving the wisdom and they are forwarding it, but they are not digesting it for themselves. Just like I sent you a message about how to decrease cholesterol, did you read it? So Pitama Brahma said, you know, I forwarded it to 4 broadcast lists, Yamaraj ji, but I didn't read it for myself. Yamaraj said, that is the whole problem. So the king said, look, in today's age of WhatsApp, nobody is interested in 4-page extracts, just shorten it up. These scholars, they went back, reconstructed it and came back with 1 page. The king said, it's good but not good enough, can you shorten it further? Then they did some little kataputi and they came back with 1 paragraph. They said, oh king, is it good enough? The king said, what I had in mind was something like a sutra, an aphorism. You see, why has Ved Vyas written the Brahma Sutra, little sutras, so that people can memorize them. Now these scholars returned and then they had a divine inspiration. And they came back with a sentence containing 5 words. When the king saw that, he said, brilliant! And what were the 5 words? There are no free lunches. If you can understand this, you will give up the jackpot mentality. Whether you want to control the mind, or you want bhakti, or you want proficiency in anything, you will pay the price through discipline, through practice, through hard work. What is required then? Self-control and willpower.